All aboard, ye mighty globe-trotting zeppelin, as we race against the clock to become the most legendary explorer of them all. So, have you heard about renowned explorers' strategic exploration? Renowned Explorer's Strategic Exploration is a title everyone should have in their back pocket. It's charming, dynamic, and strategic, all bundled up in a little board game style, civilization inspired shell, with crisp animations, bubbly art design and environment, and a vast amount of characters. There's always a reason to boot it up and come back for another 90-minute trot around the world. I've spent 8 or so hours with Renowned Explorers, and I have completed 2 successful runs, one of which bested our dearest rival. I've also had 4 unsuccessful attempts, tried a variety of captains and crewmates, and collected about 40 treasures. But there's still so much to explore and discover. There are locations I haven't dared venture to yet, I still have about 2/3 of the characters left to try out, and I've only collected about 1/4 of the treasures the game has to offer. And both of my successful runs used a very similar style of play, so I haven't even begun to dip my toes into alternative strategies. But at first, this may seem like a daunting or overwhelming title. There's a lot to choose from. At the very start, you have to pick a captain of your trio of explorers, but each captain comes with a variety of unique characteristics. They each have a leadership ability that can impact how you collect resources or tackle challenges. They each have encounter abilities unique to themselves. They also are a part of the 4 different explorer types: scientists, scouts, mercenaries, and diplomats. And then they also have their own unique skills. And finally, each character is of themselves a character, and sometimes will respond to certain challenges and situations based off of their personalities. Like, holy freaking heck, that's a lot! And at first, I was totally overwhelmed, because then after you pick your captain, you have to choose 2 crewmates, and they are all unique to themselves. Thankfully, the tooltips do offer suggestions on how to compose a team, but you're still scratching your head after you've been waffling for 10 minutes going, what is a friendly playstyle even mean? But Renowned Explorers, much like Civilization, is a game where you just kind of have to go for it. You make some decisions, you hope and pray, and then you take part in this wonderful, slow-burning understanding of the game. As you do one expedition then another, you slowly start to see the synergies emerge. Playing as a scientist who uses devious skills leads you more towards gaining renown with research. Playing as a diplomat with a friendly disposition might lead you to undertake expeditions that reward and capitalize on status. Some crews might be better suited for combat encounters, while others excel at tackling challenges. And between each expedition, you get taken back to London, where you're able to invest in research, grow an entourage, and buy the best equipment needed for the next globe-trotting adventure. Playing Renowned Explorers is always a small swirl of addiction. You want to try out that new strategy and take a chance. The 3 main currencies of the game, research, gold, and status, each lend themselves to a different strategy. And sometimes you have to figure out how they interact with one another, and then how they interact with certain combat encounters or challenges. And sometimes you just want to try a certain combination to see if it works. But you might quickly realize that it's not going to work at all, and you're staring at that defeat screen again. But even if you fail, starting all over again means you just get to make a new set of choices. It's a game built entirely on how you want to tackle your goals, and rewards you for finding and mastering these synergies and playstyles. Even after I gathered 2,500 renown, which is kind of like what they hook you as like your objective, and I bested my dastardly rival, the game offers you even greater challenges to compete against the renown of real-world explorers to become the very best. The moment when I realized, however, that this game was something special were how at certain events and situations your options were limited or predetermined simply based off of who your characters are. For example, I played as a greedy scientist who got exposed to the wealth of an Egyptian tomb. And because he was a greedy scientist, it made my escape harder, simply because that's who he was. Because I made the choice to have a certain character in my crew, an event changed. Sometimes there are more honest moments too, where a character might be vocally against theft or exploiting villagers, simply because in the universe of the game, they're a good person. With this unique sense of characterization, in addition to how the entire cast is uniquely animated and constructed, there's an immense amount of replayability and joy to be had. Even though there is a strong sense of RNG and procedural systems, After about 6 or 7 hours, you will be repeating some of the same expeditions. While they're never quite the same, they do always culminate into similar encounters. This is where things might get kinda stale. You have to fight that pirate captain for the 5th or 6th time. But with 8 hours under my belt, there are still a handful of higher tier expeditions that I haven't dared to explore yet, because I don't feel like I still have a good handle on some of the systems in the game. Also, some of the encounter animations will start to get repetitive. About halfway through my playtime, I turned on that quick animation option in the options menu, and it made the game a tighter experience. So neither or positive, just something I found out for myself. The turn-based encounters can also straddle the line somewhere between repetitive and strategic. Typically, the boss and epic encounters are when you really have to have your wits about you, but the rest in between might start to get a little tedious. And yeah, you don't have to play this game on its classic Adventure Plus Discovery Mode setting. You could play it on an easier difficulty. I never tried that because it didn't seem to be the way the game was meant to be played. But hey, if you just want to chill and have a family channel, no stakes adventure, go for it. It's there for you. So all in all, I'm really happy I found Renowned Explorers. To me, to Questmarker, it gets a positive score. I strongly encourage you to go out and try it and wishlist it or buy it or whatever. It's a game that has made me want to go get its DLC, which, in today's age is not something that happens very often. Now, if you'll pardon me, I just need to go complete one more expedition.